Hi, I'm Jacqueline from Arrive Yoga and Mindfulness. And this week in my classes, we've been doing some work to stretch the neck. So I'm hoping that this sequence will help to relieve tension and discomfort in your neck. So we're going to start in a seated posture, an upright sitting position. I'm sitting in Virasana on a block. So I've got a block there tucked between my ankles. You might want to sit on a chair, but find a surface that is somewhat flat and solid so that when you sit on it, you can feel your sitting bones, right? So the two more prominent places at the base of the pelvis that meet the surface you're sitting on. And from there, allow the pelvis to relax down through the sitting bones, almost like you're dropping an anchor into the pond, and the anchor slowly descends and then settles. And from that place, then imagining the spine like the rope of the anchor floating up with ease, up and up through the crown of the head. And then we're going to take our hands and bring our fingertips to the back of the head. And with your thumbs, just dig around a little bit back there, noticing where the flesh of the neck meets the bony ridge of the skull. And that ridge is called the occipital ridge or the occipital bones. They're not separate from the skull, but can you feel how there's sort of a lump there on the right and a lump there on the left? So we're going to use those landmarks now to bring the occipital ridge or the bones right over the sitting bones and reaching the occipital bones a little up and away from the sitting bones. So they're on the same track. And that might help to lengthen the back of the neck a little bit. So we're going to call this neutral. So that is the face is looking directly forward. And we're going to use the nose to now draw some shapes. So the first shape we're going to draw is a straight line. And we're going to lift or draw the nose up towards the ceiling. And please don't collapse the back of your head towards the back of your shoulders. We want the head to keep lifting as the nose draws that line towards the ceiling. And then we're going to draw the line down, 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 down. So the chin will also begin to drop towards the chest. Okay, and just to repeat that a few times. This movement might eventually become synchronized with your breath. So let the breath soften, meaning finding some nice even inhales and exhales. Let the tops of your shoulders rest away from your ears while keeping the collarbones nice and broad. If you like that image of the anchor and the spine lifting with ease, right? You might think of the head just bobbing up and down. So there's this quality of fluidity, gentle movement, no sharp or sudden movements. And then eventually bringing your head back to neutral. So your face is looking forward, the back of the skull in line with the sitting bones. And then the next shape we're going to draw is a line horizontal. So we're going to draw this line to the right, nose turning to the right, only as far as you can go without the chest also turning. Come back to center, right? So the shoulders stay completely relaxed and the chest is looking forward. And then the nose is going to draw the line to the left. And then back to center. So try that a few times. Again, it's not to force the head in this direction. This gentle turning, revolving the skull on the spine. No force. And keeping the shoulders soft and the tongue relaxed if you can. You might even open the jaw a little bit, so unhinging the jaw if you find that you're clenching, right? Sometimes we clench when there's tension in the neck. There might be tension in the jaw, so softening the jaw and tongue. Let's do that one more time, either side, turning to the right, back to center, and turning to the left. Using this groundedness through the pelvis and sitting bones to help bring a little ease into the upper body. So this neck shape is a half circle, and I'll just demonstrate this quickly. We're going to turn the nose to the right and then half circle, sweeping the head down, the nose turning towards the chest and then over to the other shoulder, and then down and back over to the other side. So it's a little bit of a sweeping action, a little bit of letting the weight of the skull kind of drop forward and then lifting up over the shoulder. Of course, never do any movements that don't feel safe. Right? So if you're doing this and you're finding some pain or some real discomfort, then please come out, do less, or to just leave this movement out. So eventually, let's come back to neutral. So the face is looking forward. The neck shape is the same. It's a half circle, but it's going to look up and over to each shoulder. So kind of like the shape of a rainbow. So we can turn the head again over to the right, but now we're drawing this half circle with the nose up and over to the other side, up and over to the other side. So as we're moving the head and neck, there'll be certain places where for you, there might be just a bit more tension and noise. So if you close your eyes and listen inward to some of the sounds the neck and head is making, it's sort of interesting. For me, this movement sounds a bit like gravel or kind of the static on a radio. It's all right, let's come back to center, bring your face to look forward, and then making some circles with your shoulders now. We'll let the head come to stillness and circling the shoulders back up towards the ears. You might even give a little squeeze in there towards the ears and then drop the shoulder blades back behind you and breathing. Breathing in and breathing out, and then circling the other way, looping them forward, looping the shoulders forward. Great. And then settling the shoulders down and then finishing with this. Drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. I'm just tipping my head to one side. I'm not tipping the whole body. The whole body's not coming into lateral flexion, just the head. While at the same time, this ear that's looking up towards the ceiling, it's like I'm tugging it a little up towards the ceiling so that the head is lifting as well as dropping to the side. So stretching through the side of the neck. Let's come back to center. Pause. And then dropping your ear to the other side, other shoulder. Relaxing the shoulders. Opening the jaw, if you like. Softening the face. Coming back. And let's do this again. Right ear to right shoulder. Back to center. Other side. Great. Back to center. And then we're going to come into a seated twist. So we're going to bring the back of the left hand to the outside of the right thigh, and the right fingertips either on the floor behind you or on the back of your pelvis, so hand on the sacrum. And we're going to encourage the turn to happen in the thoracic spine, so that's in the rib cage, and then the chest turning so that the head is the last to turn without force. And we're going to take 3 breaths and look over the right shoulder, keeping the top of your head in line with your spine, in line with the space between the sitting bones. On your third exhalation, release your hands, release your arms, let the rib cage, chest turn back to face forward, and then we'll go to the other side. Back of the left hand to the outside of the left thigh, left fingertips on the floor, on your sacrum, turning the rib cage, the chest to the left. The head is the last to follow, right? So we have more rotation in the cervical spine, in the neck, than we have in the rib cage. So often what happens when we turn our head, we overuse the neck because it can really turn. So, and because of that, we can end up with sore neck, neck injury, just overuse here. So we're putting the thoracic spine, the mid-back, into the rotation first, right? And then let the head follow. So we're sort of training ourselves to use the whole spine here rather than just the neck. Take a couple breaths. On your last exhale, release the arms and come back to face forward. And then just pause here. Take a moment to notice how the shoulders feel, how your neck feels. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. For more information about classes at Arrive, you can visit our website at www.arriveyoga.ca. Thanks so much. Take good care.